this happened real. You see these two dogs.
The other one is Baza Queen and the other one is Sojo Fogana.
You see, we are naming our dogs with our local names too. We are done with bingo and the things that we don't know. Yeah, name your dogs according to your belief pattern and everything going on, so that the dog will be responding to you accordingly. What dog on Dutcha? So when the destiny of some dogs was at stake, what did they do? These are dogs. So we are saying ordinary dogs, not human beings. What did they do? They became apprehensive. They became very worried. You can look at their eyes. You can see how worried they are. And then they were panting. See that on opening mouth. Their intelligence kicked in. And they formed an alliance between themselves. They said, how are we going to solve this problem? And what did they do? You see, that thing is a barricade. That barricade in front of them is stopping them from moving forward. They don't care whether it's the offense or whatever. That's not how they're saying it. What they're saying is that we want to move to the other side. And this thing that these human beings put in front is stopping us from moving forward. The colonial monsters, to them, human beings are colonial monsters. They're coming to colonize them. They say, you know what? What do we do? They began to dig under. Look at that intelligence. They began to dig a way of escape. My people say that it's only a tree that hears, I will buy you, I will kill you. And then stands there. Living things move away from danger. Living things move away from things that hurt them. Did they succeed? Yes, they did. That's them. If it's not big enough, they will dig it some more until they will get to where they're going. This is natural intelligence. So what if when the destiny of a people is at stake? What will they do? Let's find out. Supreme Court of Nigeria is expected to step outside the law to deliver the society. It's called policy jurisdiction. I told you that in this NINAS, hey, we have learned. I didn't go to law school, but I can sit lawyers down and teach them just because of association with NINAS. Because that's what we're telling our people. You need to know your rights. You need to know your legal rights. You need to know. If you don't know, go and meet people that know. Get lawyers that do. I'm not talking of the lawyers that use their school fees to eat akara in law school. No. We are talking of the one that actually paid the school fees and went for lecture. Not the one that sat under the mango tree talking to women while lecture was going on. When you mentioned jurisprudence, they say, eh? When did they teach that one? Those that pay their school fees. When they say pay it, not the one that they sent out of class because they didn't pay school fees.
Please continue to help us to share. They are really blocking
the school fees, went to class. They're able to use what they learned in class to apply it in problem solving in the society. These are the things we are talking about. So Supreme Court, you can see in the video that we showed you initially from NINAS, as friend of the court, telling them what to do, because we could see that even the judicial system in Nigeria has gone haywire. They are falling inside evil forest with 10 demons, and they are roaming about.
That's what happens when you're getting money in Ghana must go bad.
Exactly. You will lose your voice, like those traditional leaders in Yoruba land that Obasanjo was commanding. Edide, sit down, stand up, sit down. Representatives of the gods. Indeed. It's so funny and ridiculous, but it's good for them, because when you dine with criminals, then you have to lose everything that makes you who you are, and they will move you about. So we want to say that 25% requirement for federal capital is non-negotiable. But even that constitution, as terrible as it is, said it clear what that 25% requirement is all about. FCT is not a state. It's not a state. It's federal capital territory, not a state. Otherwise, you should have governor and deputy, not minister.
No kidding.
They should have House of Assembly, reps, and every other thing the other states had, 36 states. You should have it. And the governor and the deputy will not be appointed. They will be elected like others, even when we know that the election is selection. It's not even real. But at least that mago-mago, they will do that mago-mago, and it will go through the mago-mago process. I didn't read the law. We are the people that read the law. And yet you're there calling yourself lawyers and carrying wig, because we can see how your conscience was bought over. They bought you, all of you, and they've been buying all of you. And we are seeing it, Korokoro. You're disgracing yourselves, making your profession useless and like nonsensical of whatever degree that you say you got. Even children will begin to laugh at you. If the Supreme Court decides to set the country on fire by sustaining the fraud of the appeal courts, how will they themselves escape? It's like you enter a house, close the door, put fire inside. How will you escape? Supreme Court? Supreme indeed. The sin and the iniquity of the fathers is about to catch up with the children. The people the children have been hailing as their role models are the ones destroying their destiny. And they're about to expose themselves. They're about to be naked. One man said, if you try to cover this fraud, you are going to be naked yourself. They have been using their children as political tools. Snatch it, grab it, run with it. Snatch it, grab it, run with it. Politics of snatch it, grab it, run with it. And you have finally enthroned, snatch it, grab it, run with it. Hey, clap for yourselves. You have locked yourself in. That's what Ninas calls lock jam. You have jammed yourself. They kept our people in election mode to paint a picture of there's democracy in Nigeria. Is that democracy? No, it's not. Those of you that are waiting for Supreme Court, be waiting. We are moving on.
All knows on justice. All ears on justice.
All knows on justice. Since the eye has peered, they peered the anya. Now they use their nose. Maybe they will smell justice. They couldn't see it. Now they want to smell it. Meanwhile, there's so much information that can liberate everyone through Nina's campaign. But the willing tools, the criminal politicians, have been misrepresenting these information and blocking Nina's information from reaching the suffering and trapped masses.
As well as the churches, don't forget, because they have been.
The churches are part of the willing tools now. The willing tools, remember we handled the other time, the willing tools are all the people that are withholding the 1999 Constitution. Whether you are in the church, you're a politician, you are the social influencer, what a political party member, whatever you are, all of you join together saying, yes, 1999 Constitution must continue to stand. You are the willing tools, causing the suffering of the people, especially because they're very ignorant. They didn't know that you are the one putting that pain on them. They're looking for someone else because the church is telling them it's the demons, it's the ancestors, it's the days that is holding their jobs, that is holding their good life. They need to fast some more. They've not fasted enough. They've not done a night vigil. Every night they will keep them awake. They will not sleep. Poor people, from suffering to suffering. You have not eaten. You have not even, you can, at least if you have not eaten and you are sleeping, you can manage. No, you are still awake. The little energy you have, you are shouting ba 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 in the middle of the night. Have you seen this type of wickedness before? The Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, said it is end of the road for the fraud of 1999. End of the road. You have destroyed yourself. You have locked yourself in by what you have done. And that thing you're doing is the 1999 Constitution that you're pulling at. And that's what we'll show you in that Domino 2. People have been saying, how do we get to Dominion 2? That is what is going on. So the election is collapsing, and it's hitting on the constitution, because they did that constitution election based on the constitution. So if the election is collapsing based on the constitution,
fraudulent constitution,
it's going to hit the fraudulent union. That's why I say fraudulent election, we hit on fraudulent constitution and hit on fraudulent union, and everything will collapse. Iyakata. For those of you that are shouting Biafra this, Oduduwa this is the process, not what you're doing. That one, you're busy giving some people that you love so much, you're giving them your money, they're eating Oba and Okporoko, and they're dancing. Willow, they'll go to Facebook and dance, and then they will tell you to sit at home while they're having fun. You could contributing towards your damnation, and we are here saying, why are you doing this to yourself? Do you hate yourself this much? Just because you're ill-informed. So Ninas is saying all roads lead to logjam and transitioning. So if you look at this thing that we'll put here, this figure here, you can see from down going up. Logjam, because they have logjam themselves. The next thing is transition. Then we renegotiate the union. Then we reconfigure the union. Then we reconstruct the union. Please take this information. This is how it will go. Anybody jumping inside evil forest telling you the other one that didn't, they're wasting your time. Our eyes are clear where we're going, and this is the pattern it will take. My people say, if you continue not to embrace it, you will just be buying.
And your lack of misinformation or ill information will not change any of this.
No, it will not. It will not. So we will continue our eyes on the ball. Focus, know where we're going. This pattern is how it's going to go. Some of you say, how will it happen? That's your business. I know when some people read about, they will crucify Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary, they will say, how will it happen? But it's not how it happened. So these things, work is going on. Like we keep telling you, what you see about Ninas on surface is not the Ninas that is under. That's why we tell you that Ninas is submarine. It's the biggest monster that will swallow all the little monsters.
You're dropping words now. The criminals will start using it next week.
Let them keep copying. As they're copying wrongly, they will destroy themselves. Like you read in the Bible, when God gave Moses the rod, he dropped the rod. The rod turned into a monster, that snake. The magicians, the Egyptian magicians made their own little monsters, a little snake. What happened? The big monster, the divine monster, the Moses monster, swallowed the other little monsters, and all of them were destroyed. That is where we're going with this, because movement of the people is the people's power. We are moving as a people. We are not organization. We are not that's not what it is. It's the people moving. Ninas is people's movements, the indigenous peoples, the owners of the land, the main monster that the colonial monsters have been afraid of. We are coming, and we are not appealing to people. We are not begging you to join, because like we say Igwe, that mass is power. However, that Igwe is not Igwe Atoro, it's not Igwe it's not Igwe cow, it's not Igwe non-entity. So when we talk of mass mobilization, we are not talking about mass mobilization of ill-informed people, because you only dilute the gunpowder. You cannot be part of what is going on. You will become a burden to us. I remember I was talking to my son the other day. My son said, I'm not going to marry dead wood. I'll be carrying dead wood along. Even people know, even children know, that if you want to do anything, get people that will be sharp. And you don't need a degree. We say it again. You don't need colonial degree to understand what Ninas is saying. All you need is your brain and honesty. That's all.
That's it.
Ninas is not a elite group. No. It is the indigenous people, the natives. We tell you the only way we speak English is because we have different languages. So we have to communicate with English. And we are talking to also the colonial monsters, and they speak English, so we speak English to them. That's the only way we have to use English. So the project is local, very indigenous. Very native. It is the native wisdom we are using. We are just passing it in English language. So NINAS is therefore inviting the Supreme Court to invoke its policy jurisdiction to steer Nigeria to an immediate transitional process. Also, how? If they want, or are they going to be, we are looking, will they be noble and accept this invitation? Or they will be like our brother James Ezike called them. He said they are hollow and lacking integrity. They have finished. They are hollow. Because if they are not hollow, we are not even the ones to be telling them this. They ought to know it. Is that not what they studied? Why is NINAS making? Because NINAS is saying there's what we call NINAS 10 interrogatories. It was published by Guardian newspaper on September 23rd, 2022. You go there, that Guardian newspaper, page 23, that nothing will change. NINAS listed the 10 things that will never change for the people, except the 1999 Constitution is dismantled. According to the steps that is already listed in the Constitutional Force Majeure that was done on the 16th December 2020, is already there. So those that are saying, how do we do it? The steps are already there. It's copy and paste. People would like to copy. We have given you what to copy. That means that your copying and pasting has been out of mischief, not because you really want something good. Because if you want something good, it's just a question. NINAS template is there. Carry it and put it. But instead, you'll be there turning left, turning right. So thank you so much. Sorry I took our time to break this aspect so that people understand what they're supposed to be doing.
No, my sister. Thank you so much. So NINAS, like she said, is there for inviting the Supreme Court to invoke its policy jurisdiction to steer Nigeria into an immediate transitioning process. And that's Eban Nobody is going to distract us with nonsense. Their nose is on justice, their private party is on justice, on justice. This is what we need to do to move forward. And at the end of the day, we are talking about equity, fairness, and justice. I know you guys call yourself Christians, but that 3 words doesn't make any sense to you guys at the end of the day, because you're very dishonest in all your ways. So let's look at the NINAS 5-point proposition. As always, we want to acknowledge the grave constitutional grievances that we raise in the union dispute. We want the express commitment to decommission the imposed 1999 Constitution, because if this does not change, like that interrogatory says, nothing will change for you, my dear. God will not change it. Colonial masters will not change it for you. They were so afraid that NINAS was going to take off that they called your brother P2B to come to 10 Downing for him to go and distract you guys so that you guys will not go with the NINAS way. You go to the election that they know he's not going to win. Hey, Meg, like this. Because people keep telling you guys, it's my turn, oh, it's my turn, oh, it's my turn, oh. He was promised this position. It was his turn, oh. You guys stayed in a place where somebody is shouting on the radio that it's his turn and think, let's go and be obedient. Let's put all our resources and our gunpowder in one shot. Only for you guys to turn around. The bullet you shot came back and knocked you off. And you have nothing to say. So the third one is an express commitment to share further national election, which you guys went to, and now an illegitimate president is parading around as your president that doesn't care anything about you, that make policies that will adversely affect you guys in a very large magnitude, and he doesn't care. He will take away what is that subsidy without even thinking about how it's going to affect the people. Didn't have anything in place for it, because again, who cares about people that don't care about themselves?
Yeah, when they shout too much, it's okay, I'll bring it back. I take it away. I bring it back. Like, who does that?
Playing with your emotions. And the fourth one is an invitation to the constituent people of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitional arrangements, including mandate time frame, membership, and ancillary matters. And last but not least, announcement of a two-bound, two-stage transitional process, which shall in the first stage feature multi-regional referendums by which by which constitutional components shall recommit to or opt out of the Nigerian Union. And in the second, these two terms of union as may be dictated by the outcome of the referendums. So this is what we need to do to move forward. Don't let your church leaders, because they will tell you, oh, the bishop won't allow us to announce this, but they will allow Peter Obi to come to church and do his election. What is it called?
Even Buhari to come to church with his cap.
Yes, they will allow Buhari to come to church with his cap, all of this. But when you're telling them, this is what will save our people, this is what will give us a grant to stand on and start building a sustainable future for our children so that they no longer die in the Mediterranean Sea, it doesn't make sense to them because there is no criminality associated with what Ninas is doing. That's why it's not making sense. And then they have been so dishonest in all their ways that even when you break it down to them, they are still not getting it because all they're looking is for criminal enterprise that they can join to get whatever they are doing to go on. But if you wait, we know what the outcome will see. Your suffering will continue. Emma Starks told you guys that for the first time, at least we know someone have been saying, yeah, similar to what we've been saying, that your suffering will increase. Things will happen that will not be favorable to you. So the more you stay with this mess, the more your life will be entangled in the Nigerian shenanigans.